Hey everyone, it's Kim Boudreaux Smith. Welcome back. Meet her, Up is In, Women on the Rise. And boy, oh boy, do I have someone as my guest today. She is definitely a woman on the rise. She's also has become a very good friend and a business colleague and just so much more. I'll stop there. But she's just, Kate, who my guest is just an amazing person. But before I bring her on, I'd like to do a couple of things here. I'd like to announce a couple of things. First of all, this is the first radio show being recorded on the brand new Bold radio station. This is my radio station, and Kate and I are recording the first show on the station. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really honored. I asked Kate if she would step in and support me and do this. And I don't think Kate knows how to say no when it comes to supporting women that are surrounded by her. So there's that. I wanted to make that announcement. So, yay! I'm excited. And secondly, we have not only the holidays approaching us here in the United States, but we have two awesome things coming out. And Kate and I are going to talk about both of them, as a matter of fact. On December 7th, the reason why Kate is on the show today is so we can talk about both of these projects. On December 7th, Kate has compiled a book called The Missing Piece, and I have compiled a book called Bold is Beautiful. We'll get into all that. And Bold is Beautiful is out December 20th. These are both books where women have come together. Kate led hers, I led mine. We brought women together to talk about their stories. That's all the details I'm going to give right now because I want to save everything else for when I bring Kate on. So I don't want to spend any more time here. I want to bring my friend Kate on. So I would like everyone to know that Kate Gardner is an international best-selling author, and that she is. She's an empowerment coach and a video creative director who works closely with international best-selling authors and business owners to help them launch their books and products with video. And I'll share some of her websites here in a minute, or I'll let Kate do that. Kate is also an empowerment coach who helps women become empowered and find their purpose. Kate is also the compiler of the amazing international book project, The Missing Piece. Kate is also the founder of the global campaign, the Freedom and Empowerment Campaign. And again, I will let Kate share her website, but without further ado, if we could all put our hands together and welcome Kate. Yay! I have a wonderful, they're just very excited to have you here, as I am too. But by the way, congratulations, because and I know you'll share with everybody the steps where you're at with your book. I'm just a couple weeks behind you, but I want to tell everybody right out the bat, I am one of the co-authors in The Missing Piece, Kate project, and Kate is one of the co-authors in Bold is Beautiful, my project. And Kate and I met in another book project called Hot Mama and High Heels that became an international best-selling book in 5 hours. And that's how Kate I met through that project. But today's show is we're going to talk about collaboration and why. What's the purpose and why should women come together and collaborate? So with that being said, I don't want to hog all my airtime. I want Kate to jump on in and speak.
Hi there. How are you today, my darling?
I'm doing well. Kate, by the way, everybody, Kate is over in England. So it's 12:15 right now, p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Thursday afternoon. She is, are you 5 or 6 hours ahead of us with this daylight savings time?
5, so it's like 5:15 in the evening.
Yeah, Kate's getting ready to step into happy hour, cocktail hour. She's 5 hours ahead of us, so it's right before her dinner time and right before after school. She's got a thing to go to tonight for her son. So thank you for sliding this in before dinner and the kids and everything. We really appreciate that.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So let's talk about collaboration, Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Because you and I do do a lot of that.
Yes, we do, because it's truly amazing, and it's about becoming leaders in what we do, because we lead women to become leaders who then go off and do their own thing, which then creates more. It's like when you throw a stone in a puddle, you know, and you have that ripple effect. When you collaborate with women, you are giving them something to build on. And the extent of it just grows across the world, and it is truly powerful, and it is amazing. Like you said, you need a village of people around you. You need your own little people around you, so that then you can actually grow, and it can extend, and it can just do so much for humanity and so much for other people's businesses as well.
Yeah, I agree. You know, my attitude is, I've got a couple things. My attitude. Okay, my opinions and my beliefs here is, at one time in my life, I was in corporate America, and coming out of corporate and starting my own business, and now I'm in my second business, and I'm managing a couple of these businesses. I do a lot of work like you for women, with other women, and I believe it takes a village. The expression is it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I believe it takes a village to support a woman entrepreneur / business owner, or just if you really want to go a woman in general. And it also takes a woman to turn to a village and be a part of a village. And these book projects that you're leading one, I'm leading one, and Christine Marmoy led the Hot Mama in High Heels one, which was my second project with Christine, your first is. That's what we do. We go out there, and it's like we embrace. It's like I vision. We put our arms around Mother Earth, because it's women from all over the world, and we bring together, and we have to lead in order to pave the way for other leaders.
Yeah.
And also, I feel these books tremendously help out with getting rid of that stigma where women are intimidated to walk into a room full of women, because women can be bitches. Let's just tell you. I'm not going to candy coat that one today. We have that reputation, that we can be bitches. But here's my thing. And women there are still some women out there that can do that. It's just like a self-confidence. So if we could all be confident enough, like you and I, to be leaders, to lead these projects, to show others that they could lead these projects too. And it's sacred and safe, and you can do it. Why not? And be confident enough to be able to step in a room. And so what if one woman is a bitch? How about if we step out of that and go, I really wonder what's going on with her in this moment. It's not me. I really wonder what's going on with her. So that's what I love about the collaboration, among 1,000 different things. So why did you decide to do the missing piece?
It was a Thursday in May last year, this year, 2003, and I woke up out of bed at 5 a.m. with this massive idea, and it was a voice saying to me, you've got to do a book project. But you haven't want to do a book project, oh no, you've got to do 3. And I was like, oh my god, where is this coming from? And I put it to Christine, and I thought, oh, she's going to say I'm crazy, she's going to insane. And then she said, no, it's actually a fantastic idea. Go ahead and do it. So I started out on my path, and I actually started off with the book being called Survive to Fiber. And I had half the book filled out. The places were filling up. And then tragically, one of my closest friends died. We found out that she had cancer at the age of 30. Within 2 weeks, she was dead. I was on the breaking point. I didn't think I could carry on with the project because I was grieving, and I had to go to a funeral, and I was basically a mess. During halfway through the project, we hit a speed bump because a lot of people started sending me hate mail, started being really nasty to me, and saying why should I sell their stories and get money from it, and why should I cash in on this? And we got me to the break where I was about to give up on this project, and I just had enough. So me and Christine went back to the drawing board, and I said, look, it's not working. I can't have this abuse from people all the time. I'm in a bad place at the moment. I've just lost my friend. I don't need this. So we went back to the drawing board, and with everything, you know yourself, Kim, with failure, you've got to admit it. You've got to admit something's not working. You've got to go back and change it. That's one of the biggest things about success. You learn by your failures. Failure is a great teacher. And so we went back to the drawing board. We changed the title, we changed the cover, and one by one, these women from all over the world filled the rest of the book with amazing experiences. There are ladies within these chapters that have lost their hair, lost their children. They have overcome some things that some people could not even dream about overcoming, and they have all come together in one powerful book, and it is absolutely extremely powerful. It is the most amazing group of women I've ever been included in so far in my life, and they're all supportive of each other. You know, they don't drag each other down. They actually push you up. They keep you, a positive mindset. They are truly amazing, and I cannot wait to showcase these women to the world in 2 weeks' time when the book's launched. It's just wow. I'm in awe to these ladies. I really am.
Oh my God. 2 weeks before we launch. Oh, Kate, I have not read, because we get the manuscript, and I don't read the manuscript. I don't dive into that before we launch. What I do for me personally, for my treat is, I love listening to, oh my God, these chapters, oh my God, this, and I do what I have to do for my chapter, which is part of our responsibility for these books, by the way, for our listeners, but I wait until I get my book. It's like my dessert, if you will, the whole project. So I cannot wait to read these chapters. But I get on Amazon, I order my book, and I save it for my companion book. I don't know what it is, but it's just like my little treat. So I'm so glad you're the person that is compiling. I'm going to come back around a couple of things that you just said here. That you're very honored and glad, because this is, first and foremost, this is your project, this is your dream, and it's all of us stepping in to be a part of that project and dream. And I'm so glad and honored, first of all, to be a part of it, and number two, that you are very elated. I hear a lot of elation in your voice, that you're elated that we could all step up and fulfill the mission of the book. But I want to ask you a question. First of all, I'm just going to say this. I was a part of that journey when you originally called the book Survivor to Thriver, and then it was part of your own journey. It was part of your own peeling back as well, too, which, by the way, everybody, we're all on a journey. We never stop peeling back. The day we stop peeling back is when we pass, is when we die, is when we leave this physical human suit. Have you journaled on any of that? Because, first of all, that didn't happen too long ago. That happened very recently. And it's a pretty empowering, high leveraging growth spurt, if you will, for lack of better words. Have you journaled any of that? Because I'm wondering if down the road that's a whole book on your own.
Well, it's not been journaled, it's been written into my workshop, because I will be teaching people all my failures. Along the journey, I will be telling them all my failures, and that is why I'll be able to teach them how to do it properly. Or, because at the end, my dream for this is to have the free book projects, and all the women that I've got together in the free book projects is actually coach them, and then them go on to have their own book projects and build their own international platform, and of course have you included in it as well, Kim, so that you can provide their radio stations, so Kristen can provide their books, and so that I can provide their coaching, so that they've got a massive support system around them, and they can build an international platform at a huge rate. So we'll slowly take them up that step, one step at a time, and let them know how they can become just like you have a book project and grow something else from that. You know, we want these women to be leaders, to be powerful, to be amazing, not to be scared of who they can be anymore. Because I was told so many years, you will not amount to anything, you will not do anything with your life, nobody will ever listen to you, you're useless, you're this, you're that. And I know how it feels to have no confidence and to have your dreams squashed and like just think that you are not amounting to anything. It's horrible to be like that. And you know, to bring all these women together and have all these opportunities and to have this massive network and support system and to be able to support them and watch them thrive, it's like wow. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's interesting what you're saying because I taught a class this morning, and Kate, I know you're familiar, so I've spoken to you about this nonprofit organization that I teach 8-week leadership courses here and there. And we were doing negative limiting beliefs because, and this is in a high school, actually this is in my high school that we're in. And so these kids are 9th through 12th grade here. And for those of you who are listening internationally, I know the education for high schools are a little bit different than they are in other countries, but this particular high school in the city is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So we've got a couple seniors in there, and it's interesting what they're saying. We brought a speaker in today, and what they're hearing, from the most tender, dearest loved ones, our own parents can say, oh, you can't do that, and squash our dreams. And so I love that you're saying that. It just kind of took me back there for a minute for what was going on with the students' negative limiting beliefs. And what we do is we teach them how to turn them into I am positive affirmation statements. And I'm talking about I am positive affirmation statements plenty of times on my shows in the past because it's an amazing, simplistic, easy tool. It is very simplistic and easy, and it works tremendously. So, you know, I like that you're an empowerment coach to help women become more empowered because it's there in us, and to help them discover their purpose. And there are so many people out there surviving barely, don't know what their purpose is and mission is here on this planet Earth while they're here.
I'll take them exactly on the journey that I went on. So there is nothing that I do not give my clients or give my partner or the tools to give them that I have not tried myself, that I do not incorporate in my own life. I do not give them stuff that I do not will not work because it works time and time again with clients, and it's worked time and time again in my life. My results speak for themselves. So I don't need to stand there and tell people, well, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. The results speak for themselves, because I used to be a woman 2 years ago who would not even pick up the phone. I had no confidence. I wouldn't even pick up the phone to order pizza. And I would use text messaging all the time, and I would spend a fortune in text messaging and never actually pick the phone up and have a conversation because I was that petrified, because people had worn me down that much to that mess. And, as soon as I started my journey, I started discovering, I started learning things and putting things into perspective and learning tools, and I just compiled it all into a coaching program because it was my life from A to right down to Z. That was it. That was the complete journey of what I did. And then it started incorporating it into clients' lives, and oh my God, they started transforming before my very eyes. And I thought, it's not just working with me, it works with other people as well. So then that is when I trained in becoming a life coach, and then that is when I took my journey to change other people's lives, and it's just gone from strength to strength to strength. I don't know now.
I love hearing that, especially the first time I heard that you were so scared in confidence you couldn't even pick up the phone, that you would hand the phone to your son. I know the in-depth details because we've spent time together and stuff. And I remember the first time hearing that, and then going, and literally looking at the screen going, really? Okay, come on. Because I know you, and you have a lot to say. By the way, we all have a lot to say, and it's how we individually choose to say it. But you've got a lot to say. You're a beautiful writer. It just amazes me that it wasn't that long ago you couldn't even pick up the phone to order pizza. That just blows me away. And Kate, with that being said, too, is I just want every single person out there listening to this we all come from a background. We all have a story. That does not mean it makes us today in this moment. That's what they're telling kids today. Our past does not determine our future, and nor is it dominating our present.
Yeah, so I'm living proof. I'm living proof. I don't lie about anything. I'm an open book. I will talk about my domestic violence, my child sex abuse. I will talk all about that. I will talk about the fact that I was an alcoholic, that I was a drug taker, and how I had addictions really bad because I wanted to escape my reality because my reality was really poor and horrible. I've had to come through all that. So there is not one excuse on the planet that I have not heard in victimisation. Because I've made them. I've made them. I've done them. I've said them. I've made them. I was that. And then, it just all turned around. And I just continued to keep going. I did have my teeth chattering on my first radio interview. I did have my knees knocking the day that I ended something that I'd written from my first ever book, which was Hot Mama. But oh my God, I kept going. I didn't stop. Because I wasn't exactly brilliantly educated at school because I used to not school out with having a terrible childhood. Yeah. I was scared to death of putting two words together in case my punctuation was wrong or, oh my God, what will other people think? And that stopped me from writing. So then one day I started writing and then I never stopped writing and I never stopped writing now. I love it. I always constantly write. But it was only that first step of taking past your fears and just putting it out there to the world.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. It's just becoming aware, making the decision, taking that first step, and changing up the mindset, which is also managing the ego, aka habits, aka ego. I'm now starting to read and do some research on and believing that the ego and habits are they're the same and one entity. And we need them, by the way. We just have to learn how to change that up and how to manage all that. But to all the listeners listening, Kate, why should a woman, because you have 2 more books coming up. I have 1 more. I've committed to 1 more book. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to say that out loud right here now. We'll see where that goes. I know a few people, if they know me and they hear me saying that, they're going, But Kim Smith right now at this moment will say, I've committed to 1 more book. But why should people step into mine or your book or anybody's book?
Because it's the beginning of a more ultimate journey. Because I wanted to set out with these books and I wanted to have linear chapters in my books and of course in your book as well. And we didn't just want to leave it there for these women. We wanted to show them what we've done, which was have a chapter in the book, then have your own book projects, and then build on top of that as well with something else truly amazing and have the support that they need along the way from all of us. And it's possible. And I remember 2 years ago, sat at my laptop, scratching my head going, oh my God, how the hell am I ever going to get a book published in my life to be took seriously? Especially in the big wide world when you have to be a published author to be took seriously. Or a bestseller to be even more noticed, so for people to take notice of me and took seriously. Then one day, all of a sudden, boop, I get a message in my Facebook inbox and it's from Christine. And she got me to be in the book, and then before you know it, we all started getting very close and then working together, and then we fell into each other, and then it got bigger, and then wow, look where we are.
It's that coming together with that group, because each book has a private Facebook page, and I like to joke and say, oh, we got a private Facebook page, because that's where directions are done, communication is to be done amongst the group, because it's a group, it's a project, it's a group. And so I say, I love those private Facebook pages because, hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, that's where the women can all come together and share themselves. And I'll tell you what, first of all, number 1 and foremost, there's nothing like a collaboration, a village on that private Facebook page because, and I shared this, actually, what I'm going to say next is I shared this today in class with the kids. And Kate, you're part of my project, Bold is Beautiful, as well as there are a couple of women in there for the first time that are writing, and you and I have already, we're getting, we're pretty seasoned, even though you participated in one book. Mama, I know you have your book. We're seasoned. Let's just get down to it. We're seasoned now, and a couple of the women in my book are not. It's their first time participating in something like this, and for them to write that 1,500-word chapter and press that send button. And I loved it that a lot of them, not a lot of them, a few of them were so open, so raw, so beautifully bold and bare, and said, I came to tears pressing my send button to submit my chapter. See, so that's part of the collaboration, is really stepping in and into ourselves, turning in and getting reacquainted with ourselves and becoming more confident, more bolder, and oh my God, way more beautiful, and getting reacquainted to the missing piece. Because to me, the missing piece is me. That's my missing piece, and I wrote a little bit about that in my chapter for your book. And the other thing for these collaborations is, you and I, as women business owners, I'm not using the entrepreneurial word. It is my new thing for 2014. We're not there yet. We are business owners. We have teams. We have, we have teams supporting us, and we have partners to support us and things like that. But we as women business owners, these books are a beautiful, elaborate business card, and it opens up floodgates for businesses. I had no idea when I stepped into Success in High Hills. I made that commitment. It'll be, oh my gosh, it'll be a year next month when I first met Christine Marmoy. And then in January of this year, we submitted our chapters. I had no idea what that was going to lead me to. I had no idea. I had a slight intention. I had no idea where where I was going to step into, hence where my business was going to go. It's amazing what doors it opens up for us as business owners.
Especially so quick as well, because we've had to evolve huge very fast.
Yes, exactly. So do you have your dates for your next two books?
Not at the moment, because we're going to launch this one, and we're actually taking early enrollments right now for the Missing Piece in Business, which is released next year. I'm looking at the beginning of March to release it, and then dates will be placed on timeline after the launch of the first book. So right now, if people want to enroll, they can, because it's early enrollment, and it will buy you a few more weeks to write your chapter. So the ladies are actually starting to come together. In the private Facebook group, they are coming, and it's also advertised in the back of the first book for the second book. So it's out there. It's starting already. Women are coming to join them for the second project. It's amazing.
That is amazing. And yes, and then of course, Bold is Beautiful is released December 20th, and Kate is a co-author in that. And Kate and I, something, I can kind of remember the day when you and I said to each other, I can't remember the conversation, how about you and I step into each other's book? I know those words, but we could barely get those words out. Of course, we were saying yes to one another, and then before we even completed the sentence, we were like, absolutely, let's walk our talk, and walk a walk here, that what it's like to really step in and support women. Let's stop talking about this, let's start doing this. Because I'm about action. Let's stop. Enough stop talking about, women are not taking care of themselves. Okay. Malarkey, I get that. Stop talking about it. We now need to do it. And I don't care if it's only 10 minutes you schedule into your schedule for some woman self-care. That's where I'm at. It's like, let's start doing it. And so I remember the day you and I talking about that. I can't remember the exact conversation, but before we even got out the conversation, we're like, oh my God, that's a no-brainer. Of course we would support one another.
Yeah, I think it went kind of like in one sentence and said, you do my book, I'll do yours, okay?
Yeah, we may have to do something like that for the second books because you and I are following similar paths because you and I, the missing piece, Old is Beautiful, and then our second books are going to be more around business. You're doing the missing piece in business, and this is not my title, but Old is Beautiful in business as well. Actually, it's not a bad title, but you just said that, I'm like, that is not my title, but it will be how to be bold and how to be also beautiful in the business world, especially for women, because women are still holding themselves back in their businesses and even in corporate. I focus more on women in business, so they are holding themselves back in a multitude of ways.
Yeah, and we cannot stress enough to the world and to women in the world how amazing it is to get to a point in your life where suddenly your ideas are no longer stupid and are put into practice and they become true and they become real, they become real before you realise you actually get to a place of power where your ideas are listened to, where they are no longer stupid. Well, what you think is stupid, they are no longer that because they are taken seriously. You talk to people, listen, and it's like, wow, all that because I started up my journey with a chapter in Hot Mama, and then I am here now, and it's like, wow, why is not everyone doing this?
Yeah, exactly. And I've come to the mentality of this is my second business, and my first business, it was a fitness business. It's still alive. I worked out of the home, but yet I was going door to door because I was the girl that your fitness trainer knocked on the door and stuff. But I'm tired of doing things alone. I'm in the second half of my life, and I made that. That is one thing I was supposed to clear about when I started turning my life around at the age of 48 and a half. Which I talk a lot about that in your book. My story when I was 48 and a half. But I'm tired of doing this alone. I don't mind working out of my home and being here alone, but it's enough of being alone, or if I should say lonely, and it's time. If we're all going to make a difference, if anybody out there, and Kate, I think you'll agree with me, if any woman out there is sitting there thinking, I don't need other people to support me, I've got a good business going on, and I can do this alone, I'm going to tell you something. Your ego has got you so live wired, wrapped up, choked down, chained up, because you know what? We can go it alone, but why do you want to take another 50 years of doing it alone? We can make way more high leverage accomplishments and influences doing it together.
If you think you can do it alone, you will only go so far and you will only learn so much. You will never go any further than that. You will never go any higher than that. Your goals will just stay very, very low, and so will how the amount that you could potentially earn will stay very low because you think you can do it all by yourself. I've been there as well. I always stood there going, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. One day, I realised I couldn't do it. And then that's when my body gave in and I had a stroke because I realised that I had too much stress and I couldn't take it all by myself. You've got to just learn to delegate and learn to say, I can't do it all by myself, I need some help. Will you help me, please?
Yeah, exactly. It's and there's nothing wrong with asking for help. A lot of women are still I'm not going to ask for help. So every woman that ever is in a position where they feel like they're going to look like they're weak, dumb, stupid for asking for help, remember this. Have you ever been in a car with your partner, significant other, and AKA I mean a man, and you're driving somewhere, and they will not pull over and ask for directions? Because that's a male thing. Okay, I'm teasing men today, but seriously, it is a male thing. Just think of that. Remember that, how you get so frustrated, your significant other, your spouse, your partner, you're driving somewhere, you guys are lost, and he will not pull over and ask for directions. That's the same thing, ladies, when you do not step up and ask for help.
It's self-sabotage. That's what it is.
Yeah, and you just go around and around and around and around. Kate, do you want to add anything else why somebody should step into. Again, I don't mean to sound like it's all, it's selfish or your book, my book. How about let's step into any type of collaboration of a book. Do you want to add anything to that at this point?
If platform opportunities, doors can open, and support, your network grows. And we're not talking about just growing in, just your own town. We're talking internationally on a huge scale. Because within these projects, you have 29 other women that live in all different parts of the world. The things that could come out of that. When you've been in a book project, you could either go to your own book project, or you could grow your business on that by having workshops, being paid for speaking engagements, because people actually take you seriously now that you're an international published author. And there's so many avenues that you can lead off from these book projects. So you don't necessarily have to go on and have your own book project. It's what you could take from that and build on top of it, which then things could branch from it. Just like a tree, and all the branches coming from it, you can have so many things branching from it, because look how far I've come, look how far you've come in a short space of time. I am now in practice, we've got 3 businesses. We've got 3 businesses that are going to be up and running and complete by the end of the month. And that's a video business, that's a website business, and that is a coaching business. And from the coaching comes books and workshops, and it's all of this that's branching off of this very little root that started with Hot Mama.
And that's, with that being said, I just wrote down tree and branch. I'm going to get out my papers and my markers afterwards. I'm going to draw that with my business. I must be craving a little bit of creativity today as far as artistically drawing, even though I'm a stick figure drawing kind of a person. But anyways, I just wanted to say with all that is, ladies, when you own a business, do not get hypersensitive, uber focused on just one road, aka one product, one branch of your tree. Because that one branch of your tree, a tree has multiple branches. It's got to grow. And that's where you need to take your businesses. Look at multiple avenues for marketing. I'm a firm believer that there's 3 avenues to really get yourself out there. And then I'm going to add sub-avenues to that, if you will. Radio, book, and speaking. Radio, book, and speaking are the 3 main things. Now, to those 3 things, here's the supportive things. Video, because video, Google recognizes, in the SEO searches and things like that video, and people want to, with the videos, people want to hear you and see you. Whether it's a little clip on your website, or like we do videos for the books, and and we have video trailer for the book, and we all do our individual videos for our chapter. And the other supportive thing too that's complementary is social media. But make sure you're presenting yourself and branding yourself in a proper way on that social media. There are some proper ways. I don't want to say right, wrong, do's or don'ts, but there are some proper ways of putting yourself out there. That's it. That is it. And it took me a couple of years to come to that. And this year has been so impactful between the book. Listen, Kate, if I would have met you back in January in Success on Heels, and you would have said to me, Kim, you're going to own a radio station one day, I would have went, yeah, that girl, she's been drinking too much Mr. Red Wine. What's going on with her? Oh my God, look at where I'm at. And, same thing with these books, the radio station, with you, with the website and the video. Whoever would have thought that this is what these books lead to? They give us our avenues. So ladies, don't just focus on, ladies and gentlemen, don't just focus on just one avenue. I love the analogy of the tree. It's the multiple branches. Some branches are going to be longer, some branches are going to be shorter, some branches are going to be a little bit thicker, some going to be a little bit thinner. It's not just one branch. That's my analogy of the day.
my complete free businesses I worked all from my experiences of not knowing how to do it myself. So I went out there and I went and found out how to do it myself, so then I could teach other people how to do it, because there's nothing more frustrating than sitting at your computer and scratching your head while someone's got this lovely video and it's got a professional intro to their video blog, and you're sat there going, how the hell do they do that? Yeah. I need to know how they do that. How have they got that? That would cost me loads of money. How did I do that? So then I learned it. I learned the skills to do it. I built it up, and now we're putting it into a business where you can have a professional intro to your video blog, and we'll also provide a training video where you can upload it to YouTube and you can have it on the YouTube channel. And we leave you with that package, and then from then on, you can do it yourself. That's what we are leaving you with. And, I thought, why don't I create a business through that? So that is what I do. We just create little intros for people to put on their video blogs and send them on their way with a training video to show them how to do it themselves. That is like gold dust to people. It would be gold dust to me 2 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how the universe unfolds before us, even though we are setting some intentions, and some of the intentions, this is what I always say is, look, I had no idea what my year laid ahead of me was stepping into such high heels, and it took me a little while for those floodgates to open up, and stepping into Hot Mama. But it was by the time I stepped into Hot Mama, things were really ramped up for me this year, and really creating that burning rubber to the road and that momentum for 2014. It takes time, number one. Boy, the queen of it takes time, number one, this impatient of, I think I created the word impatient. Number one, and number two, it's leveraging your village, everybody, leverage it. And by the way, when you do leverage it, do not leverage it and always make it about you. It's team, partnership, team and partnership. So do not enter a collaboration like this with thinking of, oh boy, my business is going to grow, look at how much money I'm going to make. Because I'm going to tell you something. That will nip you in the tushy before you know it. Yes, it is about enhancing your business. Yes, it is about making connections. Yes, it is about collaborating. And by the way, that collaborating goes much further past the book. There's joint ventures, there's works. I mean, there's so much out there. It's past the North Star. The sky's the limit. Let's not limit ourselves at the sky. There's so much past the sky. So there's a lot of reasons to be coming into a collaboration. And by the way, my guest Kate, right there's a reason for collaborating. The friendship, the crazy times that we had in Ireland, the more crazy times that we're going to have in the future, even though Kate's over in England and I'm in Michigan, the United States, the connections, the context, the talking, and the reason why this show is taking place is because I went to Kate and said, how can I support you in your book? She said, would you please interview me? Okay, well, of course. Absolutely, of course I will. See how this works? It's asking and it's being there. And I'll tell you what, if I couldn't accommodate Kate, because we're busy, I get it, before her launch, you better well believe I was going to be able to, just depending upon accommodating her after launch, but I would have accommodated her. We just had to lay out our schedule. So ladies, when you ask for something and the person on the other end that is receiving that question, they may not always be able to step up to the plate, but try and work it out so it's like a Stephen Covey win together situation.
Definitely.
So before we wrap all this up, what did we say before we started, Kate? Hey, let's just, it's nighttime and over there in England, and maybe, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Oh my God, it's been almost 45 minutes.
We do this all the time when our Skype chats, because before we know it, 4 hours is gone.
I know. I think we all need another trip again with some face-to-face funness. So before we wrap this up, Kate, could you please provide your 2 websites where everybody can get in touch with you?
Yep, of course. I can give them the book website, which is www.themissingpiece.com. and www.empoweringcoaching4, as in the number 4, women.com. Or people can find me on Facebook.
Say that again. Say your second website again one more time, because I know that's your main website. So go ahead and say that one more time, and of course they can always reach out to you on Facebook. But I really want them to hear this and get in touch with you.
Yep, sure. It's www.empoweringcoaching4, as in the number 4, women.com.
Well, awesome. Hey, Kate, thanks so much for, first of all, thanks so much for being my guest today, and much success. I cannot wait for December 7th. Both of us involved there, and then we get to go and drive The Missing Piece up to an international bestseller, and then we're going to go take a deep breath, and then we'll be into December 20th for our other bestseller. So 3 times the charm for you this year, 4 times the charm for me.
Woo-hoo!
I know. And then after December 20th, I am going to take some Kim end of year time and work more on my 2014 intentions. By the way, I'm sharing this with everybody because it's okay to take some time away. And that's my time of the year where I do some like nesting, where I straighten up the house and clean things out and get rid of things. That's my favorite time of the year because it's winter here, so. So I'll be doing that. So Kate, thank you so much for being on here today and for being my first guest on Bold Radio Station. The Lead Her Up is in radio show.
It's my pleasure, and congratulations for launching our very network.
Thank you so much. If everyone could just please. Studio. So everybody, I want to say thank you so much for listening in, and another week here at the Bold Radio Station. Actually, it's the first week here at the Bold Radio Station. Another week at Lead Her Up is in. You can get a hold of me at www.kimbsmith.com. That's B as in boy, kimbsmith.com. Or you can go check out theboldisbeautiful.com, and that's bold-is-beautiful.com. Go check it out. Oh my God, the video, the website, the book. Go take a look and see Kate face to face, because she's one of the co-authors. She's in there. I know, and you can always get in touch with me on Facebook, and also to www.boldradiostation.com is where we're housing all the shows. Stay tuned. We are just launching this in 2013. This will be over the top in 2014. If you're interested in hosting your own show, again, stop on by theboldRadiostation.com. Reach out to me and have a conversation and go from there. So, Kate, I know it's dinner time for you, so I want to say thank you. Have a good evening, and we'll be talking.
Okay, bye.
Bye.